In my last video, you got to see the reveal of this space I've been making over for the better part of a few months now, and part of that makeover was this gorgeous bed frame from tonight's sponsor, FlexiSpot. FlexiSpot is a global brand focused on ergonomic and space-saving furniture. They're best known for their standing desks and thoughtfully designed home essentials that combine functionality, quality, and modern style to create more comfortable living and working spaces. This is their Kana Japanese joinery bed. What is Japanese joinery? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Japanese joinery is a traditional woodworking method that uses the tension of precise interlocked joints to hold the frame together. Which is lovely because one of the reasons I was looking for a new bed frame was my old one had been through too many moves and I was legitimately finding loose screws all over my floor. No idea where they belonged. With Japanese joinery, no loose screws. Instead, it actually gets tighter and creates a more stable structure over time. That stability also means quiet. Quiet that is further assisted by the slats being secured with Velcro to prevent shifting over time, and inward recessed legs to ensure a snug fit against the wall. Not to mention, the entire frame is made out of solid rubber wood, so it's also moisture and scratch resistant. These bed frames are ready to be shipped and delivered within 3 to 5 days. So if you are looking for a cost-effective and customizable option for your next bed frame, click the link below to experience the FlexiSpot bed frame for yourself and use the exclusive code JPBF for an instant discount. Transform your sleep with comfort, convenience, and unmatched value.
Oh good, you're here. Yep, take a seat. Did they offer you a beverage on your way in? We've got bourbon, gin, absinthe, water. They'll get that for you. Yeah, make yourself comfortable. Just getting to the first page here. As we are both aware, we are here to ask you the preliminary questions regarding your book that you want to have penned. Right. And chatting with your agent a little bit, it does seem like I need to make the initial caveat. To be perfectly blunt, I don't care if you like me. That's not my job. My job is to get to know you in order to write this book. So I'm going to ask some pretty, I guess people would call them invasive questions, and I need you to be completely honest with me, otherwise what's the point of writing a book? Again, I don't care if you like me or not. My job is just to write. Your job is to be as honest as possible so that I can write truly. On that topic, am I ghostwriting this, or is this something you want me to publish under my own pen name? Well, I find that ghostwriting tends to be for those that their fame only goes as far as their name. They haven't really contributed much to history. Other people writing about you and you not really caring about the perception of, you didn't write your own book. That tends to be for people that have actually done something with their life and their time and might actually have something to contribute to, the larger conversation. Ghostwriting tends to be for people that want to capitalize on whatever fame their name claims in that moment of time. Ghostwriting then. Okay. Okay. So, I will ask you these questions and then I can get a rough draft to you regarding kind of how I feel the flow of your book should go, and we'll send that off to you and your agent, and you can decide if you want me to complete the book or not from there, okay? Perfect. Any questions for me before we begin? Alright, let's dive right in then. It's a lengthy one, so like I said, get comfy. What is your earliest childhood memory? And no, they don't have to be completely lengthy yet. If there's something that I feel needs to be expounded upon later on, I'll make a note and I can ask you further questions later. But let's just keep these short, simple, and sweet for now, okay? Okay. Where were you born? What day? And what made you choose that day? Well, I won't get too much into differing opinions regarding that. It's fine. Do you have siblings? And if so, which one is your favorite? Don't be weird about it. Everyone has a favorite. It's fine. And where are they in the lineup of age? Is there anything in particular that endeared you to them? Kind of boilerplate, but okay. Were there any significant family events that you believe shaped you as a person? Again, you're short and sweet. You're giving me that look like you're gonna go on a giant expose there. Just celebrations, losses, moves, just like a few quick little. Okay. Let me see. Okay. What did your family expect of you as a child, would you say? Did you find your worth in that expectation? We'll definitely come back to that one. Would you say you have mommy issues, daddy issues, or both? No one gets out clean. Makes more sense. Definitely come back to that. Were there any family secrets or unspoken rules? How did that affect you? It could be a little more interesting, but I can make that work. What was your home life like regarding finances, emotional stability? Okay. Tumultuous, good word. How would you describe your personality as a child? And does it differ from who you are now? Yeah, I could maybe get a few paragraphs out of that one. I think everyone deals with this bout of bullying, you know. Nothing really special about that, to be frank. Okay. And I'll skip that one. I don't think you're interested interesting enough for that one. Looking back, what do you wish you had known about your family earlier? Okay, so we're circling back to that one thing that really affected you as a child, didn't it? Interesting, okay. Okay, and do you feel like had you known that sooner, the outcome would have changed? Or do you think that was just kind of set in stone for your family dynamic and who you would become as a person? Well, it's alright if you've never thought about it that way before, but maybe give it some thought, especially if you're going to write a book about yourself. Okay, moving on. We'll come back to that. I'll send the questions that that you have a hard time answering in an email, and then you can think about them, and then just give me like a few sentences in response later on. Okay? Yeah. Just mark that one. Send an email. Okay. Aragorn or Legolas? I can respect that. What schools did you attend? Did you attend multiple? For how long? Would you say your primary education had any major impact on your life, or the main impacts you wish to write about were later on? Okay, so primarily. Okay. Okay, did you have any subjects in schooling that you specifically loved or hated that you feel have a, significant, how do I put it? They shaped you as a person? Art. Isn't it always? Were you involved in any sports? Didn't think so. Okay. We already went through the bullying thing. First big academic achievement that matters. Like getting a blue ribbon in elementary school doesn't really qualify. None that come to mind. No, I appreciate the honesty. Okay, if you got into a boat and sailed as far as you could, do you think you would fall off the edge or just loop around? Interesting. Okay. No, it's very good to know. All of these questions are meant to really dig into who you are as a person. So, did you go to college to pursue higher education? Why or why not? Okay. Do you regret that choice? So parts of it. I see. We can come back to that one. That does seem like it could be interesting to feature. Let's see. As a teenager, what would you say your career dreams and aspirations would have been? Okay. And how do you think your teenage self would react to where you are now? Okay. Is that something that makes you happy or sad? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you love animals? Yes. Okay. So you wouldn't shoot a dog and then want me to write an entire chapter dedicated to you shooting that dog, right? Good. Good. You'd be surprised. Honestly, it's not a 0%. Yeah, I had to put that in the contract for everyone now. If they answer yes to that question, I don't. No dogs will be harmed in this book. Crazy times. How did you get into your current field? Kind of like a lucky break or a ladder climbing situation, would you say? Okay. Let's just mark these. Did you have any key turning points or big breaks doing that? You know, for some it's just daddy's money. Okay. 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 Who are your most important mentors or influencers? Let me preface, by influencer, I do not mean social media personality. I mean a personal influence on your life, not TikToks. Okay. Do you have a hero? We can make that work. Is that part of what drove you in your career, or? Okay. What's the hardest professional decision you've ever had to make? Take your time. It does sound challenging. I could probably write a solid chapter on that one alone. That's a good one. Is that a decision that you would make differently looking back, or you would stick to what you decided then? You could definitely write a chapter on that. Okay. Okay. What sacrifices did you make in your personal life or your career, if any? Is that something you want to feature? Okay. It adds color to your ultimate persona, but I don't think you need to really say that one out loud. Okay. So we won't mention that. Who are your biggest professional rivals? That is a pretty big name. Do you feel like that scales appropriately down to where you're at, or that's just a marker that you've set as far as your competition goes? Okay. Okay. Do they know you exist? Right. Do you feel it would be beneficial to include that name in your book that you're writing? Okay. Would you choose the same career path again, looking back? Or what might you change? Mm-hmm. They do say hindsight's 20/20. Okay. Let's see, we're almost through one full column. On a good day, how many pigeons do you think you could reasonably carry at the same time? Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a, a number you feel confident in. It's quite a lot of pigeons. Okay. Have you ever experienced heartbreak or significant personal loss in romantic relationships? Okay. Sorry to hear that. We can definitely expound upon that, though. That'll be a good one. How do you balance work and your personal life? Frankly, a lot of people just answer this one, they don't. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now that you've given me the boilerplate BS answer, do you actually do that, or? Okay, right. But we can pretend. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What's your biggest insecurity? Could you pick a different one, please? Please. I can work with that. Okay. No, I can definitely, I can make that work. What friendships do you have, if any, that have lasted the longest? And would you say their impact has been positive or negative on your life's trajectory? Mm-hmm. Are those people that would be fine being mentioned by name, or do we need to give them false names? Okay. Would you be okay with me interviewing them? Okay. We can skip that one. You already kind of went over that in the heartbreak section. How did you overcome your biggest personal obstacle? If you've overcome it, that is. With the love and support of your family and friends. How do I say this kindly? I can't really write a chapter on that, so... Oh, no, that works. Okay. Have there been any health challenges, either physical or mental, that you've encountered along the way? And how has that shaped you as a person? Mm-hmm. make a note to go more in depth on that one later, but probably have a therapist present for that. We'll skip the next one. Moon landing. Mm-hmm. I see. So you do believe in the moon? Okay. How have your failures shaped you more as a person than your successes might have? It's a little weak. I probably can't use that one. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have any major life regrets? Okay. Why is that? I see that working in our favor. Yes, that'll work nicely. Okay. That will be good. What unexpected life events do you feel completely changed the trajectory of who you became as a person? Okay, so the early childhood thing, you're really stuck on that one, huh? Okay. I mean, everyone's got something. I'm sure I can find a way to make it sound interesting. How do you handle stress, criticism, or public failure? Not well. We can dig into that more later. What position do you sleep in at night? Wouldn't have begged you for that one. Okay. What lessons do you feel took you the longest to learn in life? And to be honest, I think you might not be done with that one quite yet. I'll put a pin in it. This process typically takes a few months, so there's always room for more growth in the meantime. Okay. Now, what accomplishment means the most to you and why? You have a different one? I can make it work. Okay. How do you define success? The accomplishment makes a lot more sense now. No, I can tie those in. Okay. How do you feel about feet? Just in general, any strong feelings about feet? Okay. What are your core values, and where would you say those came from? So back to them. Right. We already kind of went over heroes. I mean, aside from the influencers thing we talked about earlier, do you have any role models that you looked up to? No, we don't need to include that one. Are there any causes or charities you are passionate about that you would like to have highlighted in this book, or just generally mentioned to make you seem like a more well-rounded human being? A lot of people do it. Okay. And have you done research into them and their finances to make sure the money actually goes where they say it will, or is that just kind of like the boilerplate and we need to do the research to make sure that you don't get canceled? Now, I had someone say Red Cross one time and that didn't pan out well. Okay, so we'll look into that before we publish anything about them. Okay. How do you want to be remembered? Just a few words. Don't overthink it. That's actually genuinely lovely. Okay. What are you most grateful for in life? What are you second most grateful for in life? Okay. No, it fits with the core values and charity thing, so my job is to write about you, not make you interesting. If you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be? Bearing in mind you're like not that old right now, so. I think I could tweak that. We could maybe tie that back into. I'm gonna let you sit on that one and then come back to me with a really strong quote via email after you've maybe given that a little more oomph to the answer. No, none of these are meant to be perfect. That's why we do this, to get you really thinking about who you are, what you want out of life, and what the heck this book's supposed to be about anyway. Why did you decide to write this book? Okay, is there a different reason? No, I'm sorry, just everyone kind of gives that reason. Just one time I want someone to actually have an interesting answer to that question, just because I have something to say. Okay. No problems here. I'm very well adept at writing that style. Is there anything you particularly would like readers to take away from your story? Okay. Okay. any particular reason why you decided to write this book now, as opposed to sooner or later, just right now? I can think of it. Okay. Okay. Are there any topics or stories that you are hesitant to share, and why? Okay. Could you expound upon that a little bit more? Nope, this is why we ask those questions. That is a good one to be hesitant on. We'll keep that one on lock. What period of your life was that in? We'll kind of just avoid that whole little sector and anyone involved so they can't. Okay, early. Okay. Looking forward, are there any big dreams or plans or aspirations that you have that you wish to impart upon the readers? Goals, you know, sense of purpose. Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't need the whole, it's okay. Thank you. I got it. Okay. And then last but certainly not least, and this one will really tell me what direction we want to go with this book. How to, create the hooks, how to market, all the good stuff. How much money are you hoping to make off of this deal? Great. Okay, very telling. That tells me exactly what I need to know regarding how to set this up for you. Okay, I'm going to take the answers you gave to me today. Don't want to take up too much of your time. I will get them into an outline, and, we'll see if we can't turn you into the self-made millionaire that you're going to portray yourself as in your book, okay? Okay. Well, have a good day.